What will it take to achieve Sustainable Development Goals? Achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, requires a multifaceted approach involving governments, businesses, civil society, and individuals. Here are some key factors: political will. Governments need to prioritize the SDGs in policy making and allocate resources accordingly. This includes creating frameworks, incentives, and regulations that support sustainable development. Partnerships, collaboration among governments, businesses, NGOs, and other stakeholders is essential. Public-private partnerships can leverage resources, expertise, and innovation to tackle complex challenges. Education and awareness. Increasing public awareness about the SDGs and their importance fosters support and action at all levels of society. Education also plays a crucial role in promoting sustainable practices and behaviors. Inclusive growth. Economic development must be inclusive, ensuring that benefits are shared equitably and no one is left behind. This involves addressing inequalities in income, gender, and access to resources and opportunities. Innovation and technology. Harnessing innovation and technology can accelerate progress towards the SDGs. This includes developing sustainable technologies, improving access to renewable energy, and leveraging digital solutions for social and economic development. Climate action. Addressing climate change is critical for achieving many of the SDGs, particularly those related to poverty, health, and environmental sustainability. This requires ambitious targets for reducing greenhouse gas emissions, transitioning to renewable energy, and building resilience to climate impacts. Sustainable consumption and production. Promoting sustainable consumption and production patterns is essential for reducing environmental degradation and resource depletion. This includes adopting circular economy principles, minimizing waste, and promoting responsible consumption. Global cooperation. Many of the challenges addressed by the SDGs are global in nature and require coordinated action across borders. International cooperation on issues such as trade, finance, and migration is essential for achieving sustainable development worldwide. Data and monitoring. Effective monitoring and reporting mechanisms are needed to track progress towards the SDGs and identify areas where action is needed. This requires reliable data, indicators, and accountability mechanisms at the national and global levels. Resilience and adaptation. Building resilience to shocks and crises, such as pandemics, natural disasters, and economic downturns, is essential for sustaining progress towards the SDGs. This includes investing in social safety nets, healthcare systems, and disaster preparedness. By addressing these factors comprehensively and collaboratively, we can make significant strides towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. What are the Sustainable Development Goals to achieve the climate goals? The Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, that are closely aligned with climate goals are: Goal 7, affordable and clean energy. This goal aims to ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. Transitioning to renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and hydroelectric power is crucial for reducing greenhouse gas emissions and mitigating climate change. Goal 11, sustainable cities and communities. This goal focuses on making cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. Sustainable urban planning and design, improved public transportation, energy-efficient buildings, and green spaces can help reduce emissions and enhance urban resilience to climate impacts. Goal 12, responsible consumption and production. This goal promotes sustainable consumption and production patterns, including reducing waste generation, increasing resource efficiency, and adopting sustainable practices throughout the supply chain. Shifting towards circular economy models can help decouple economic growth from environmental degradation and reduce the carbon footprint of consumption. Goal 13, climate action. This goal specifically addresses climate change by calling for urgent action to combat its impacts and build resilience to climate-related hazards. It includes targets for reducing greenhouse gas emissions, increasing resilience and adaptive capacity, mobilizing climate finance, and enhancing climate education and awareness. Goal 14, Life Below Water, and Goal 15, Life on Land. While these goals primarily focus on protecting marine and terrestrial ecosystems, they are also essential for climate mitigation and adaptation. Conserving and restoring ecosystems such as forests, wetlands, and coral reefs can sequester carbon dioxide and enhance resilience to climate change impacts, while also supporting biodiversity and livelihoods. Goal 6, Clean Water and Sanitation. Access to clean water and sanitation is critical for human well-being and sustainable development. Ensuring universal access to safe and affordable drinking water and sanitation services can help reduce vulnerability to climate change, particularly in areas prone to water scarcity and contamination. Goal 9, Industry, Innovation, and Infrastructure. This goal emphasizes the need for sustainable infrastructure, innovation, and industrialization to support economic growth and development. Investing in clean and resilient infrastructure, promoting sustainable industrial practices, and fostering innovation in clean technologies can contribute to climate mitigation and adaptation efforts. Goal 17, Partnerships for the Goals. Achieving climate goals requires collaboration and partnership among governments, businesses, civil society organizations, and other stakeholders. Goal 17 calls for strengthening multi-stakeholder partnerships, enhancing capacity building support, and mobilizing resources to accelerate progress towards sustainable development, including climate action. These SDGs are interconnected and mutually reinforcing, highlighting the importance of an integrated approach to sustainable development and climate action. By addressing these goals collectively, countries can make progress towards achieving the objectives of the Paris Agreement and building a more sustainable and resilient future for all. What would it take to achieve these goals globally? Achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, globally requires concerted efforts from governments, businesses, civil society, and individuals. Here's what it would take: political leadership and commitment. Political leaders need to prioritize the SDGs on national agendas and commit to implementing policies and strategies aligned with the goals. This includes setting ambitious targets, allocating resources, and establishing mechanisms for monitoring and accountability. Global cooperation and partnerships, collaboration among countries, international organizations, businesses, NGOs, and other stakeholders is essential for addressing global challenges. This involves sharing knowledge and best practices, mobilizing resources, and coordinating efforts to achieve common objectives. Financing and investment. Adequate financing is critical for implementing SDG-related projects and initiatives, particularly in developing countries. This includes mobilizing domestic resources, attracting foreign investment, and leveraging innovative financing mechanisms, such as public-private partnerships and impact investing. Capacity building and technology transfer. Building institutional capacity and promoting technology transfer are essential for enabling countries to implement sustainable development solutions. This involves investing in education, training, and skills development, as well as facilitating the transfer of environmentally sound technologies to developing countries. Data and monitoring. Robust data collection, analysis, and reporting mechanisms are necessary for tracking progress towards the SDGs and identifying areas where action is needed. This requires strengthening national statistical systems, improving data quality and availability, and promoting transparency and accountability in reporting. Policy coherence and integration. Policies across sectors need to be coherent and integrated to support the achievement of multiple SDGs simultaneously. This involves mainstreaming sustainable development principles into national development plans, sectoral policies, and regulatory frameworks, as well as fostering cross-sectoral coordination and collaboration, empowering marginalized and vulnerable groups. Ensuring that no one is left behind requires addressing the needs and priorities of marginalized and vulnerable groups, including women, children, persons with disabilities, indigenous peoples, and refugees. This involves promoting social inclusion, gender equality, and human rights, as well as empowering communities to participate in decision-making processes. Behavioral change and public awareness. Promoting sustainable lifestyles and behaviors is crucial for achieving the SDGs. This includes raising public awareness about the goals, encouraging responsible consumption and production patterns, and fostering a culture of sustainability at the individual, community, and institutional levels. Conflict prevention and peace building. Conflict and instability can undermine progress towards the SDGs, particularly in fragile and conflict-affected settings. Preventing and resolving conflicts, promoting peacebuilding and reconciliation efforts, and addressing root causes of violence are essential for creating an enabling environment for sustainable development. Resilience and adaptation. Building resilience to shocks and crises, such as climate change, natural disasters, and pandemics, is essential for sustaining progress towards the SDGs. This involves investing in social safety nets, healthcare systems, and disaster preparedness, as well as promoting ecosystem-based adaptation and community resilience building measures. How can we make industries sustainable to achieve these goals? Making industries sustainable is crucial for achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, as industries are significant contributors to economic growth, job creation, and environmental impact. Here are some strategies to make industries more sustainable. Adopting cleaner production technologies. Industries can reduce their environmental footprint by adopting cleaner production technologies and processes. This includes improving energy efficiency, minimizing waste generation, and reducing emissions of pollutants and greenhouse gases. Investing in renewable energy sources and implementing energy-saving measures can help industries transition to low-carbon operations. Promoting circular economy principles. Embracing the principles of the circular economy can help industries minimize resource use, waste generation, and environmental degradation. This involves designing products for durability, reuse, and recycling, as well as implementing closed-loop systems that recover and repurpose materials at the end of their life cycle. Circular business models, such as product as a service and sharing platforms, can promote resource efficiency and waste reduction. Enhancing resource efficiency. Improving resource efficiency is essential for reducing the environmental impact of industries. This includes optimizing production processes, reducing water consumption, and minimizing raw material use through recycling and reuse. Implementing resource-efficient technologies and practices can not only reduce costs but also contribute to environmental sustainability. Ensuring responsible supply chains. Industries need to ensure that their supply chains are ethical, sustainable, and socially responsible. This involves conducting due diligence to identify and address environmental and social risks throughout the supply chain, including issues such as child labor, forced labor, and environmental degradation. Collaboration with suppliers, certification schemes, and transparency initiatives can help promote responsible sourcing practices. Investing in sustainable innovation. Innovation is key to driving sustainable development in industries. Investing in research and development of sustainable technologies, materials, and processes can unlock new opportunities for reducing environmental impact and creating value. Governments, businesses, and research institutions can collaborate to support innovation ecosystems and accelerate the adoption of sustainable innovations. Engaging stakeholders in building partnerships. Collaboration with stakeholders, including governments, businesses, civil society organizations, and local communities, is essential for advancing sustainable industrial practices. Engaging stakeholders in decision-making processes, dialogue, and capacity-building initiatives can foster trust, alignment of interests, and shared responsibility for sustainable development outcomes. Compliance with environmental regulations. Industries must comply with environmental regulations and standards to mitigate their environmental impact and ensure responsible operations. Governments play a critical role in setting and enforcing regulations that govern pollution control, waste management, and resource conservation. Effective enforcement mechanisms, monitoring systems, and penalties for non-compliance can incentivize industries to adopt sustainable practices. Promoting corporate social responsibility, CSR. Embracing corporate social responsibility can help industries integrate environmental, social, and governance considerations into their business strategies and operations. This includes initiatives such as community engagement, philanthropy, and sustainability reporting, as well as commitments to ethical business conduct and human rights. Building resilience to climate change, industries need to adapt to the impacts of climate change and build resilience to climate-related risks. This involves assessing vulnerabilities, implementing adaptation measures, and investing in climate-resilient infrastructure and technologies. Industries can also contribute to climate mitigation efforts by reducing greenhouse gas emissions and supporting renewable energy deployment. Fostering a culture of sustainability. Cultivating a culture of sustainability within industries involves raising awareness, building capacity, and fostering a sense of shared responsibility for sustainable development goals. This includes providing training and education on sustainability issues, incentivizing sustainable behavior, and recognizing and rewarding achievements in sustainability performance. By implementing these strategies, industries can become more sustainable and contribute to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals while driving long-term business success and societal benefits. What are the most eco-friendly production methods and systems? Several eco-friendly production methods and systems exist that aim to minimize environmental impact and promote sustainable practices. Here are some of the most notable ones. Green manufacturing. Green manufacturing focuses on reducing waste, energy consumption, and emissions in the production process. It involves optimizing manufacturing processes, implementing energy-efficient technologies, and using eco-friendly materials. Lean manufacturing principles, such as just-in-time production and total quality management, can help minimize waste and improve efficiency. Renewable energy integration, utilizing renewable energy sources, such as solar, wind, hydroelectric, and geothermal power, can significantly reduce the carbon footprint of production processes. Installing solar panels, wind turbines, or other renewable energy systems on-site or purchasing renewable energy credits can help industries transition to clean energy. Closed-loop systems, also known as circular production systems, aim to minimize waste and maximize resource efficiency by recycling and reusing materials and products. This includes designing products for disassembly and recycling, implementing closed-loop supply chains, and recovering and repurposing waste materials within the production process. Bio-based materials, using bio-based materials derived from renewable biomass sources, such as plants, algae, or agricultural residues, can reduce the environmental impact of production processes. Bio-based materials are often biodegradable and have lower carbon footprints compared to traditional fossil fuel-based materials, making them more sustainable alternatives. Agroecology and sustainable agriculture. Sustainable agricultural practices, such as agroecology and organic farming, promote environmentally friendly methods of food production. These practices focus on soil health, biodiversity conservation, and ecosystem resilience, reducing reliance on synthetic inputs and minimizing environmental degradation. Water conservation and management. Efficient water use and management are essential for eco-friendly production. Technologies such as water recycling, rainwater harvesting, and drip irrigation can help industries minimize water consumption and reduce pollution of water bodies. Implementing water-saving measures and wastewater treatment systems can also mitigate environmental impacts. Green chemistry. Green chemistry principles aim to design chemical products and processes that minimize the use and generation of hazardous substances. This includes using safer chemicals, reducing waste and emissions, and designing chemical processes that are energy efficient and environmentally benign. Lean and agile manufacturing. Lean manufacturing focuses on eliminating waste and optimizing production processes to improve efficiency and reduce environmental impact. Agile manufacturing emphasizes flexibility and responsiveness to changing market demands, allowing companies to produce smaller batches and customize products more efficiently, thus reducing overproduction and waste. Sustainable forestry and wood products. Sustainable forestry practices, such as forest certification and sustainable harvesting, promote responsible management of forest resources and biodiversity conservation. Using certified wood products, such as those certified by the Forest Stewardship Council, FSC, ensures that wood comes from responsibly managed forests and contributes to sustainable production. Life cycle assessment, LCA. Life cycle assessment is a comprehensive method for evaluating the environmental impacts of products and processes throughout their life cycle, from raw material extraction to end-of-life disposal. By conducting LCAs, companies can identify hotspots of environmental impact and prioritize actions to minimize their ecological footprint. By adopting these eco-friendly production methods and systems, industries can reduce their environmental footprint, promote sustainability, and contribute to a more resilient and resource-efficient economy.